Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you for the likes, subscriptions, and comments. Greatly appreciate it. Keep them coming. I'm going to do this video. I've been reluctant on doing this video. I haven't been wanting to do this on Livescope or active target or scoping or spotlighting, whatever you want to call it. My point of view on the whole thing. Do I have it? Yes, I do have it. Do I use it? Yeah, I use it. Do I use it like everyone else uses it? No, I do not. In the wintertime, I've used it to find fish deep, catch them on a rig, just for fun. I use it in tournaments, but anybody knows me knows me. I mainly fish shallow. I'm a shallow water guy. I like to cover a lot of water and use fast moving baits. I'm a power fisherman. So the way I use it shallow is to find brush piles and things like that that I didn't know were there before. You know, I think a lot of people have a misconception about it. I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos and on my Facebook pages and stuff about, well, if you take Livescope away, they won't be able to catch those fish. Certain fish, yeah, if you take Livescope away, the fish are out there in the middle of the lake running bait and things like that. Unless they come to the top schooling, you're not going to catch them without Livescope. But, you know, some people call it cheating. Some people say it's depleting the resources in the lake. I don't think it's depleting anything, honestly, as far as bass fishing goes. I'm talking strictly bass fishing. For crappie, it may be a detriment for crappie fishing because there's people that haven't been able to limit out and are going out there and limiting out a lot. So you may see an impact there. But as far as bass fishing, it's catch and release. You know, you catch them however you catch them. Whether you're sight fishing, whether you're just banging the bank, whether you're out cranking a ledge, whether you're spotlighting or live scoping or whatever you want to call it, those fish are brought to the weigh-in and then released. I don't see how we're depleting anything that way. There are some people that do keep bass, not in a tournament, but you know, there's people that keep bass. I see it a lot out on Kentucky and Barkley. People just out there fun fishing for the weekend. I don't think they're heavy live scopers. I'm not a heavy live scoper. I do have it on all the time. But like I said, I'm shallow a lot of times. I'm looking for brush piles or stumps or something I haven't seen before, you know, with just down 2D sonar, or I haven't seen it on side imaging or down imaging. I have found some stuff this way, but my opinion is for the bass fishing, and this is bass fishing only, I don't see it being a detriment to the sport. It's changed the way some people have fished, yes. And you know, if you watch the most recent two events down in Texas in the Elite Series, there's guys that were shallow and decided to change and go start live scoping for fish, and they really didn't do too good. Some of them struggled really bad. I mean, struggled really, really bad. So to think that it's something that you just go out there, turn on, and the fish are magically going to show up and bite anything you throw in front of them, sorry, it's just not going to happen. You know, if it's happening for you, then obviously you're better than just about everybody else in the world. But for the majority of people that just go out there and turn it on, there's a huge learning curve to this thing. I'm getting better with it, but I'm not out there throwing jerk baits and Demiki rigs and searching for individual fish. You know, for me, that's not what I do. There are guys that do that, and if they can dedicate a day to doing that, more power to them. I can't do it. I've tried it, and I can't do it. I get impatient. I gotta go cast at a target. I gotta do something. But just staring down at a graph, it's not for me. But like I said, I do use it, and I use it, like I said, up shallow, looking for brush piles. Oh, Romeo hit the camera. excuse me, of shell, looking for brush piles and stumps and maybe a hard patch, a shell bed here or there, a pile of rocks, things like that. Um, I think it's here to stay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Um, there is talk, I believe, in Wisconsin of banning it, but I mean, if you watch Matt Steffen's video on that, it's a long process. There's all kinds of voting and stuff going on with that. I don't think it'll happen. It may. I mean, I may be proven wrong. It won't be the first time. But I've heard people compare it to the Alabama rig. The Alabama rig got banned. Well, I'm not. How do I want to put this? I'm not invested in any of this. So let me put it to you this way: the Alabama rig did not have the money behind it to keep it in professional angling. It didn't have the money behind it. The electronics, though, the Garmin, the Humminbird, the Livescope, or the Lowrance, there's the money. That the electronics company's putting up the money, sponsoring these big Elite Series trails, the MLFs, the BPTs. I mean, all the big circuits, and all parts of the MLF. Each circuits, the money is there. Garmin sponsors it, Lowrance sponsors it, Humminbird sponsors it. So I don't see people complaining that this isn't fair, or we shouldn't use this, or this isn't real fishing. I mean, what's real fishing? Real fishing's going out there with a bobber and a worm, or a minnow and a cricket. That's real fishing. Bass fishing, we're trying to trick them into biting something that isn't real. So using an electronic to your advantage, in my opinion, is not taking away from real fishing. Like I said, it's just my opinion. But like I said, it's a video I didn't want to do. I did not want to get involved in this whole Livescope thing, but I've seen comments coming in about take it away and people will suck, take it away and you won't see the weights anymore. Which, that comment was on one of my recent videos on Kentucky. Was take the Livescope away and you won't see the weights. Well, before Livescope was ever invented, we were catching 20 plus pounds out there. The lake did go through a lull. I think it's on the way back up, and people are catching 20 plus pounds again. Yeah, Livescope's here now, and it maybe it helps some of them guys, and it's easier to catch at 20. I don't know. But the 20-pound bags were there before. All these big weights off these lakes and Fork and Toledo and all that. The big weights were there before. We're just catching them a different way now. You got to evolve with the sport. If we don't evolve with the sport, I mean, we'll still be back there throwing two-piece rods with a pistol grip and old knuckle buster level winds. The reels got better, the rods got better, the lines gotten better, the baits have gotten better. The electronics are catching up finally, is the way I look at it. Used to be a 12-volt trolling motor was standard. 36-pound thrust was on it. Now we're running 112-pound thrust, 36 volts. Now we're running lithium batteries instead of the heavy AGMs and stuff like that. So to say any of it's not real bass fishing anymore, I mean, if you want to stick with real bass fishing, go back to the old original Skeeter Ranger boat, cigar boat with the tiller handle on the back and one live well and a whole 50 or 100 horses, and that's it. Depends what you consider real bass fishing and what you don't. In my opinion, real bass fishing is tricking a fish into hitting something that's not real. An artificial lure. That's bass fishing to me. You can impart the action into that bait to make the fish believe it's not, or make the fish believe it is something they want to eat. That's bass fishing. No matter if you do it standing on the bank on a farm pond, or if you do it in a fully rigged out bass boat with 250 horses on the back, 36 volts on the front, and Livescope and everything else. If you can trick that fish into hitting something that's not real, buddy, that's bass fishing. That's my opinion on it. Take it for what it's worth. Let me hear your comments below. And I'll see you on the water.